Brooke, who is fired as a waitress, gets mistaken for an elite event planner from New York. As she hosts a Christmas party for the Earl in Ireland, Aidan Hart, the lies start catching up with her. Brooke is serving drinks at a party and offers one to a little boy for a little girl he likes. She breaks her heel while working, so she shoves them under a table. Paige Monahan, an elite event planner, asks Brooke about the eclairs. She doesn't even want to serve them to her dogs, and asks Brooke to get rid of them. She reminds Brooke that her event management company ensures class and elegance. Brooke tries to convey her admiration for Paige, but she's very dismissive of her. Brooke's sister, Margot, is frustrated because her boyfriend Derek wants space. He's spending the holidays in Colorado with his friends and didn't inform her before booking the flight. Brooke explains that Paige sent the eclairs back since they don't meet her standards. Margot decides to be the judge and confirms that it's elegant and classy enough. Brooke tries to shut her up as Margot rants about Paige not understanding class. Paige is standing right behind her, so they both get fired. Margot feels Brooke could have kept her job, but she doesn't want to abandon her sister on Christmas. They try to reassure themselves that getting fired might be a good thing. Margot feels this gives them an opportunity to start their own event planning company. Margot knows they're much better than Paige and have been discussing it for years. Brooke agrees they can figure something out too. She is tired of getting stepped on by the Paiges of the world. Margot rants about Derek, which reminds Brooke of her ex-husband Dan. Margot assures Brooke the divorce wasn't her fault. They still don't have any family left, or partners, or even a job. Margot thinks hitting rock bottom might be their way to the top. Their dad left them money for a rainy day, so Margot suggests going to Ireland to track down their relatives. They know their dad would have done it if he was healthy enough to travel. They arrive in Ireland and try to ask about their relatives in a pub. The Earl of Glasgow, Aidan Hart, arrives at Castle Hart after a long time. Aidan's sister Siobhan is not too happy to see him. Aidan tries to compliment the renovations she handled, but she disses him. Aidan was designing a building in Italy, but came back after the project hit a bump. Siobhan wants to know the reason for his return, since he apparently has no love for family. Aidan wants to help the castle with its financial situation. Siobhan refuses to let him play the hero now just so he can run off again. He hasn't been home in 5 years, and Siobhan has no expectations. Aidan helps Clara with her bags, and she asks about Siobhan. She has known the siblings since they were kids and is sure Siobhan loves him. Aidan is just happy to see the pub again. Brooke picks the same pub, Lanigan's, for her and Margot to enter. They're too excited to be in an Irish bar, and Margot even claims they're event planners from New York. Aidan makes fun of their excitement, so Clara asks them to ignore him. Brooke explains that they're looking for their father's family. They had unsealed his adoption papers before he passed away, and know that his birth parents are from Ireland. They're looking for the O'Reillys, but almost everyone in the bar has the same last name. Clara assures them they're in the right part of Ireland, but the search might take some time, maybe more than some time. Clara still suggests taking a tour of Castle Hart nearby. Brooke is worried Margot lied about their career. Margot reminds her they're on vacation, so they can be whoever they want. They get bored with the Castle Hart tour, so they decide to check out a Christmas market. Aidan finds Brooke shopping and points her in the direction of Santa Claus. Brooke plays along and pretends to believe in elves. Brooke admits they didn't finish their castle tour because the talk of earls and lords seems very unrelatable, if only she knew. Aidan explains that an earl was the governing body of people historically. The title used to have great relevance, but he can't answer what has happened to it now. Aidan still offers to give her and Margot a private tour. Fionn escorts them as Aidan's guests and makes them comfortable. Siobhan rants about how hard it was to keep the estate afloat in Aidan's absence. He has been traveling the world as an architect, while she bore the burden of running the castle in his name. Aidan explains that he never wanted the Earl title, but Siobhan also doesn't want to hand over their family's legacy to a greedy bank. Aidan offers to help now that he's there, but Siobhan feels it might be too late. Brooke needs to use the bathroom and struggles to find one. Aidan learns that O'Sullivan, Siobhan's event planner, has quit without making any arrangements for the gala. She is trying to find a replacement, but everyone else is booked. Brooke and Margot run into them, so Aidan points Brooke to the bathroom. Aidan doesn't have their names yet, so Margot introduces herself. He remembers Margot mentioned something about event planning. Margot exaggerates about the kind of fancy events they plan in New York. She claims she only handles logistics while her sister, who owns the company, is the creative one. Dial it down, Margot. Siobhan is excited and explains that they're hosting an annual Christmas gala for the Duchess of Abercorn. Since their planner has ditched her, Siobhan offers to pay their full fee and let them stay at the castle. That sounds great to Margot, but Siobhan asks to check out her company website online. Well, this is getting worse. When Brooke is back, Margot asks her to play along. Siobhan thanks Brooke for helping them on such short notice. Brooke doesn't understand what that's about till Siobhan gives her information to plan the gala. They learn Aiden is the Earl and that Margot has told Siobhan that Brooke is Paige Monahan. Brooke freaks out, but Margot doesn't think they can end up in jail for it. Margot admits it's a bit unethical, but she feels not having this gala could ruin the castle and Ireland's high society. She asks Brooke to help them since she thinks Brooke is much more talented than Paige. Brooke has planned a million balls in her head right down to the details. Margot feels she's perfect to save the day. Margot thinks they can tell them the truth after the event is a huge success. Siobhan asks Aiden to help the event planners every step of the way. Aiden refuses to be a concierge service, but Siobhan insists it's the only way he can make up for his absence. Aiden picks up Margot and Brooke and gives them his card. He brings them to a grand room, and they can't believe their luck. Siobhan briefs Margot and Brooke about how to greet the Duchess of Abercorn, Julia Dunleavy. Margot calls her Brooke by mistake, so Brooke insists it's a nickname. Brooke claims she was a bookworm while growing up, so Margot called her Brookworm as a child. This excuse could still be worse. Siobhan believes them, but wants them to make sure the Duchess doesn't know she lost her original event planner. Julia is curious about the branch of the Monahan tree Paige is descended from. Brooke tries to make up some stories, but steers the topic to the gala. Siobhan claims they let go of O'Sullivan because his efforts didn't reflect the elegance the Duchess wanted. Brooke assures her that she and Margot excel at that. Brooke asks for Julia's personal vision for the ball, but she just wants all the glitz and glamour of a regular gala. Brooke asks for anything more personal since she wants to create something people will look forward to every year. Julia admits it's the social event of the season, and the guests will expect the finest food and most elegant decor. What a surprise! Julia still wants it to be memorable, so Brooke promises to deliver something great in 12 days. Brooke knows they have no inventory left, and even finding a caterer is tough. She calls Aiden for help, who knows a decorator available on short notice. Aiden explains that the castle used to host a huge holiday party on the grounds for all of Glasgow. After the remodel, Siobhan had to make some strict financial decisions. She felt hosting the gala for the Duchess made more sense. This upset the townsfolk, so they're not happy to help the castle anymore. Aiden still takes Brooke to Liam, who is mad at Aiden for turning his back on the town. Brooke empathizes with him and calls Aiden selfish to get on his good side. Brooke praises his tree so much that he agrees to just show it to her only. She asks him to loan it to her for the gala, even if she understands he's mad at Aiden. She feels that this gesture will help him prove people like Aiden wrong. She suggests Liam should show Aiden has no power over him, and imagine the Duchess's expression when she looks at his piece of art. Liam trusts her and agrees to loan it to her. Margot also gets some china Brooke asked for, so she feels like they're making progress. Margot suggests a great caterer, with whom she worked for Paige's party last year. Brooke thinks it's risky if this chef knows Paige. Margot suggests they can tell the chef that Paige sent Brooke for her. Brooke only agrees to do it because they're out of options. Brooke knows Aiden is an architect from his card, and asks if he contributed to the castle renovation. He explains that Siobhan did everything because he lives wherever his projects take him. This is surely a sour point. Margot has fixed a meeting with Jennifer Barclay, the chef from Dublin they're considering. Aiden insists on dropping them to Jennifer's place, but Brooke doesn't let him. She suggests he should stay outside after what happened with Liam. Have to admire the quick thinking. Jennifer is glad Paige wants to work with her again after the event in New York. She has another event that weekend but can manage the catering with some extra staff. Brooke assures her money isn't an issue and starts trying out the menu. A lifestyle journalist, Fiona Walsh, compliments the work Margot has done with the gala. She wants to get some details for an article, so Margot claims she needs to consult with Paige. Fiona already knows Paige because she has covered a few of her events in London. This is bad. Fiona is sticking around for an hour, so she asks Margot to call Paige and let her know she's there. Aiden wants to eat Clara's meat pie with Brooke, but she has already eaten with the caterer. Margot calls Brooke and pretends she's on call with Paige. She fills her in about the Fiona situation and pretends that Paige will take a lot of time to be back. She acts like she's sad Paige won't get to meet her. Brooke knows she can't head back to the castle with Fiona there, so she suggests getting something to eat with Aiden. Brooke tries to delay Aiden even after they finish their meal. She starts chatting with Clara about how she hasn't found her relatives. Clara knows the Duchess is the best person to find out ancestry in the area. Brooke admits she's looking for her dad's birth parents, and admits she's a Bennet by mistake. She saves it by explaining that Bennet was her married name since she's been divorced for a year now. She remembers how her ex-husband shut down emotionally and made irresponsible financial decisions. Aiden is understanding and helps her process it. Aiden wants to head back, but Brooke insists on checking with Margot first. When Brooke learns that Fiona is still around, she asks Aiden to take her to a place tourists never get to see. He brings her to an old chapel whose roof has been destroyed because of a storm. Brooke suggests he can restore it, but Aiden mostly works on office buildings and hotels. His only restoration experience backfired. He admits he was trying to preserve the historic buildings around the one he was restoring in Italy. It would have financially affected them, so their company didn't preserve those buildings. They were cornered by a woman whose family had lived there for generations. Aiden quit because of that, but Brooke feels hitting rock bottom is the way to the top. Her mom used to say this, and she misses her. She feels family is the greatest gift, and people should always appreciate them. Margot is frustrated that Brooke spent time with Prince Charming, while she spent the whole day acting as a spy. She notices how happy Brooke looks. Brooke still insists it's because the caterer is confirmed. Aiden has invited them for the tree lighting that night. Brooke asks for Margot's help with something to wear. The mayor is surprised to see Aiden in the crowd and asks him to say a few words. Aiden opens with a joke, but the kid throws a snowball at him. Aiden replies playfully by throwing another snowball at the kid. He commences the tree lighting, and Brooke is impressed with how well he handled the situation. Aiden feels her wit and charm is rubbing off on him. Brooke plans to arrange music that day with Aiden, while Margot stays back to ask the Duchess about their dad's family. Aiden knows someone who can help with music and introduces Brooke to Baron. He is great with the piano and is exactly what Brooke wanted. She makes a deal with him and asks about his horses. She used to ride, so Aiden offered to ride with her too. The Duchess feels Margot is unique and confident, just like her son. Margot discusses her lineage at ease, and that she doesn't have any first names. She only has a teddy bear from when her dad was born, and a locket with freedom written inside. The Duchess is glad they don't have more details because she loves a good puzzle. She asks Margot to enjoy the Irish eggnog and explain more about her father. Brooke wonders why Aiden would ever want to leave a place like this. Aiden explains that his father was a brilliant man. He always knew he would fall short in filling his shoes. Brooke assures him that people's mistakes don't define them and only give them perspective. She feels instead of filling his father's shoes, he should be happy about being the person he wants to be. While Margot is having a good laugh with the Duchess, Brooke invites her to the pub for a bite. Since Margot is having too much fun, she asks them to go ahead without her. Clara's pub is more crowded than usual because a famous band is playing that night. Brooke loves the performance and dances all night with Aiden. Brooke thanks him for the night since she doesn't remember the last time she had fun. Aiden asks for Brooke's help to pick out a tree for Siobhan. They used to love Tree Day as kids and trekked with their dad to find the fullest one before Christmas. He remembers decorating it with Siobhan as a kid and how it made them feel like a normal family. The Duchess introduces Margot to her group of ladies and her son, Cillian Dunleavy. They're instantly interested in each other, which was probably her plan all along. Brooke is unintentionally humming while decorating the tree, which Aiden finds very charming. When Aiden takes out the star tree topper, it reminds Brooke of her failed marriage. Christmas was special for them, so her ex always used to put the star up. Aiden admits Christmas is weird for him too. He usually spends it with room service in whichever part of the world he is in. He's glad he's back because he's starting to remember what Christmas feels like. He feels inspired by Brooke and how she has built a career that shows who she is. Margot notices Siobhan talking to Fiona while Aiden and Brooke approach them. She drags Brooke behind the pillar when Siobhan introduces Aiden to Fiona. They've been trying to look for Paige since Fiona wants to interview her. Aiden is surprised because she has disappeared. Fiona asks them to give her a call when they find Paige. Right when she leaves, Aiden and Siobhan find Margot and Brooke hiding behind the pillar. Siobhan conveys Fiona's message and feels Brooke can still catch her. Brooke insists she has her number, so she will call her. Brooke gets scared when Jennifer also stops by and makes an excuse about a meeting. Jennifer wants to see the kitchen, so Brooke decides to take her to it from the other side. They run into Fiona, who recognizes Jennifer. Brooke pretends she broke a nail when Jennifer is about to introduce her. Fiona thankfully leaves, but someone addresses Brooke as Paige in front of Jennifer. Brooke explains that she didn't correct them when they assumed she was Paige. She begs Jennifer not to reveal who she is since this party is important for everyone. Jennifer agrees to not rat Brooke out, but she refuses to cater to them. She plans to work with the real Paige again and doesn't want to risk it for Brooke. Siobhan and Aiden are confused as to why Jennifer would back out 3 days before the gala. Margot takes the blame on herself and claims she gave Jennifer the wrong date. Aiden wonders if the Castle restaurant can cater, but Siobhan knows they can only handle a few people. Brooke steps out to get some air, while Margot assures them she will handle it. Brooke starts packing her bags because she's tired of lying to everyone. She feels all this is a game for Margot, because she's so confident about her lies. Margot also feels bad, because she is trying to do something good. She reminds Brooke that the Harts have trusted her, so Aiden and his family will suffer if she quits now. Aiden is impressed with Brooke's design trick, which she has learned while throwing parties for her Barbies. Event planning has always been Brooke's passion, but she was just doing it on a smaller scale, maybe smaller than he knows. Aiden admits he was worried when he didn't hear from her in the morning. Brooke assures him she won't quit, and even Aiden thinks the caterer leaving wasn't her fault. Brooke is tired of all the lies and tries to admit who she is. Aiden assumes she's trying to say she's not perfect, and is glad she isn't. He asks her to remember everything she accomplished in a week and assures her that he believes in her. He promises to figure this out with her, even if they have to get a truckload of sausages. This gives them the idea to approach Clara for the catering. Clara doesn't think the Duchess and her friends are the type who prefer meat and potatoes. Brooke assures her that she's not looking for fancy food, and that it just has to taste good. Clara's most popular dish is steak and onion pie, which Brooke feels can be served in fancy plates and given a fancy name. Brooke and Aiden have arranged for additional help, so Clara agrees to come on board. After dinner is decided, Brooke still needs to figure out appetizers and desserts. Aiden takes her shopping for ingredients and teaches her how to make a plum pudding. She's impressed that he bakes. Aiden is apparently his family's custodian of the recipes that are passed down from generations. He instructs her about what to add and makes her taste the final product. She loves it and thinks he's very unexpected. She admits she had a very wrong first impression of him. She has realized he's very authentic and kind. They share a moment, but he calls her Paige. She snaps back to reality and insists she needs to find a dress for the gala. The real Paige gets a call from Fiona, informing her that she's waiting to meet her at the Christmas gala she's planning. The food is perfect, but Brooke is worried when she can't find Margot. Aiden asks her to take a break and brings her to the chapel to show her his new design for restoration. He has decided to stay back in the castle and connect with Siobhan again. He is grateful to Brooke for inspiring him with her wisdom and heart, and teaching him the value of family. He wants a bond with Siobhan that Brooke has with her sister. He also feels he has never met a woman like her. Just when things get more personal, Brooke excuses herself to get ready for the gala. Brooke comes to her room to find dresses for the gala from Aiden. She starts crying because all the lies are too much for her. She wants to tell Aiden how much she likes him, but is afraid of ruining things by revealing who she really is. When she couldn't find Margot, she also got worried that she had abandoned her. Margot assures her she'll always be around, and feels Aiden won't care what Brooke's name is. She assures Brooke they can confess everything after the gala is over. Brooke offers one of the dresses to Margot, but she has already been shopping that morning with Cillian. She asks Brooke to compose herself and get ready for a perfect night. The Duchess is more than impressed with the preparations at the gala. They all look around for Paige, or Brooke. This is confusing. Aiden is mesmerized by her and makes sure to let her know she looks stunning. The Duchess also feels Brooke is outshining everyone in the room. Margot is hand in hand with Cillian, and the Duchess loves what a great team the sisters make. The Duchess asks Brooke to enjoy her well-deserved party with everyone. Brooke compliments Clara for the food and approaches Liam for the art. Liam has designed his piece to represent a new beginning in their community. Margot notices how bored the Duchess looks at the party she wants. She's glad Brooke has another surprise for her, and she brings in the band from the bar she danced at. The Duchess is impressed that it seems like the old community parties and decides she wants to bring those back. She also dances with Liam and everyone takes the floor. Aiden is impressed and asks if Brooke is hiding any other talents. She takes him outside to confess who she is, but Fiona and the real Paige beat her to it. Aiden feels betrayed because he trusted Brooke. She explained that she just wanted to help with the gala. Margot tries to take the blame on herself, but Paige wants to throw them in jail for impersonating her. The Duchess feels the girls have thrown an amazing party irrespective of who they are. She forbids Paige from revealing anything about what happened if she wants to keep getting work in Europe. Margot asks Brooke to reconsider leaving the next morning, but she's very embarrassed. Siobhan gets a note from Aiden to meet him at the chapel. He shows her a rough sketch of his renovation ideas so they can earn more with the hotel traffic. He admits he's done running away from home and wants his sister back. Siobhan admits she tried to blame all her struggles on him all these years. She was mostly angry because she wanted her brother back. She assures him it has nothing to do with his title or his name, and feels he should look at Brooke the same way. Aiden is hurt she lied to him, but Siobhan reminds him they wouldn't have hired her if they knew she was just a waitress. She feels it shows Brooke's good character, because she did everything just to help them. Brooke turns up at the chapel to apologize for everything. She couldn't leave with the thought that Aiden would always think what they shared was not real. She assures him she hates living someone else's identity. She also admits that everything she shared about herself was real. Aiden has known from the time he met her that she's different. He feels he has waited for her his whole life. They introduce each other with their proper names, and he kisses her. The Duchess calls them all to a random house and explains that she solved their family's mystery. The freedom on the locket Margot mentioned is Saoirse in Irish. She asks Patrick O'Reilly if his mother is Saoirse, who put up her firstborn for adoption in America. Patrick remembers the date of birth, so Margot and Brooke explain that the child was their father, John. Patrick is glad to learn he's their uncle and invites them in. He introduces Brooke and Margot to their family, and they find the Aunt Clara they already know in the house. They hug her, and it all seems like a Christmas miracle.